Hey, hello guys. Welcome back to the channel. Got the mighty Gator Unleashed here with you. Glad you guys could stop by. Got a new pistol this morning. Just tickled to death. Been a while since I bought a pistol, or bought a few shotguns, I guess, recently, but haven't bought a pistol in a while. Really haven't seen anything. I've got pretty much what I want. I mean, I have pretty much what I want that I can afford. Before I show you my pistol, though, and talk about this 1911, I'll touch on, I got some ammo this morning at the local gun shop. This Blazer Brass, it's 124 grain. Full metal jacket, range ammo. $19.99 a box. In today's world, that's really competitive. That's really competitive. I just got 2 boxes of it. Very good range ammo. Not really recommended to put in your weapon that you're going to carry and use for personal protection. Just because if you've watched any of my videos, I always try to touch on over penetration can cause you and a lot of more people a lot of problems. It's really important that you understand the type of ammo you're carrying in your firearm. That you understand what that ammo will do as far as what it will go through. If you was to get into some kind of situation, and you probably won't, but if you did, and had to fire your weapon, and even if you hit the person who has evidently attacked you or is trying to cause you harm or whatever, even if you hit them with something like those full metal jacket rounds, it's more than likely going to go through them. And if you're in a public place or a crowded place, or maybe even not so crowded, it stands a chance of going and hitting somebody, innocent bystander. Nobody needs that. Nobody wants that. We guys seem to have the tendency to want bigger, badder, faster, more powerful, and we kind of like to have the biggest, baddest, most powerful, whatever you're talking about. Truck, motorcycle, hot rod. Same thing with ammo. A lot of people will want the most wicked ammo they can possibly get. And that's fine for its purpose in this world. But that's really not what you need in your personal protection, in your weapon you choose to carry while you're out in town with your family, friends, whatever. Whatever you've got on you to protect yourself. Just if somebody comes and tries to rob you or kill you, you just never know with the society we've got today. But anyway, that's just over penetration. Please look into it and research it. Please get some hollow point self-defense ammo, whatever caliber, whatever type of weapon you choose. I think that's the best thing you could do as a firearm owner, as a supporter of the Second Amendment. We have to do it right. And I've touched on all that many times. Today, guys, it's all about the Rock Island Armory 1911. I found an M1911 A1. It's chambered at 45 ACP, which that's what it's supposed to be. A lot of people say it's what I like. I do like a 1911 chambered at 9mm also. I think they're great. I just think a 1911 I love 1911s. And I've got a Taurus 1911. I think I featured it on the channel once, maybe. I'm not positive if I did or not. But they're just so much fun to shoot. So much fun to shoot. A range gun. This is a range gun. This is heavy. It holds 8 rounds. Or actually, I ain't looked at it. I might have sold 7 plus 1. It probably holds 8 though. It's got the longer magazine. Looks like it came with it. But a lot of people fail to think about the most simple things when they purchase a firearm or whatever. What are you going to do with it? My situation with this firearm, this is a firearm that I'm going to put on the shelf and get out and clean and rub around on every so often. I just love it. I'll take it to the range occasionally, put a few rounds through it, not a lot. I imagine it'd be a good shooter though, and I may do a few little modifications to it. Don't know yet. This is not a gun that I would recommend for anybody to carry on their side. Now, having said that, if this is what you like, if this is what you feel comfortable with, um, and if you could put this on your side and carry it, and it not pull your pants down all day, um, that personal preference overrides all else, and nothing matters as much as personal preference. And really, something that through years of carrying I have realized, comfort is the number one, absolute number one on my list of requirements for my weapon I carry with me. If the shit hits the fan, I got to have something to start throwing lead. Comfort is number one, very closely followed by how it fits my hand. Those two are neck and neck. It's got to be comfortable to carry, though, regardless. If it's not comfortable to carry, you'll wind up leaving it at home. I've done it. I've seen it done millions of times. I've seen people buy the cool 1911 is a prime example. I've seen people go and buy 1911s they couldn't afford because they wanted a higher-end 1911 because we guys like to brag. That's just the way we are. We're all flawed. And guys has always got this little ego competition thing going. That's never going to change. We're never going to change that. But if you get into carrying a weapon, either concealed or not, you will quickly appreciate comfort. And then if you start handling a firearm and practicing in self-defense situations, you will also very quickly learn to appreciate how important it is to have a firearm that fits your hand to perfection. That is number one. And of course, what caliber you choose. There's so many things that factors into it. But anyway, this 1911 I bought, I'd wanted one of these forever. I just like 1911s. I bought the Taurus. When I bought it, it was a little bit more expensive than these. 4 or 5 years ago, you could buy these firearms for right around $400 new. Maybe a hair more than that. Around here in Kentucky, they was probably around $420 or at least $400. If you got one for $400, you'd got a good deal. And now we've had all this stuff go on, and guns have gone up just like everything else. And the days of going and picking these up for around $400 is over. You can't find them for that no more. Well, this morning I went to the gun shop down the road with intentions of probably buying a couple boxes of ammo, and it was $21.99. So this new ammo I just showed you they got in today was $19.99. So I came out a little better on my ammo. But while I was browsing around, I found this weapon. I found this firearm laying there, and I couldn't believe it. It was priced at like $379.99. First of all, you just don't see them. Not here in Kentucky now. That's all I'm speaking for, is around here in eastern Kentucky, central and eastern Kentucky. You just don't see them. I haven't seen them, and I mean, I go to gun stores. It's what I do on my time off. I'll go to gun stores and look. I love all this stuff. But they had this there. It's the only marking on this. The only marking on it. And it just simply says Rock Island Armory. Firearms not loaded, of course. But I've always liked these, and I'm not one of these guys. I can't go out and give $225 or $3,000 for a 1911. I mean, I just can't do that. If I had to have one, yeah, I could save up for. I could go buy one pretty quick. I could save up in a few weeks and probably go buy one. I'd have to want it really bad. I don't want one that bad because they're awesome, and as far as value, yeah, they're probably hold their value and be worth it. But this just fits my budget very, very good. I got this for $375 out the door today, and I'll buy these for that. They're just great. My brother's got a arms core. It's made in the Philippines, and this is also made in the Philippines, and they're probably made in the same place. They're just rock solid. The 1911 platform, it's been mastered for decades and decades and decades. I have no doubt this gun will function perfectly. Um, and since it's not a self-defense weapon, since it's not something I'm going to be carrying and have my life depending on it, I don't need to spend another $2,500 for a higher end 1911, which is still very much basically the same thing, but it's just dressed out with things like skeletonized triggers, hammers. Um, they're just, and they're also a little better quality. Also, don't get me wrong, but these will last just fine. If you can pick one of these up, I just don't think you can go wrong if you can pick one up for $400. Just a good investment. If you don't do anything with it, it's a good investment, if nothing else. But I'm tickled to death with it. I'm just so happy I found this. I didn't think I'd ever get one because of the price increases. But the magazine here, it is an 8+1. And I say this is not a personal protection weapon. It could be if you wanted it to be. If it works for you. The United States military carried it through 2 world wars. They carried it for I think 75 years. I think from 1911 till like 1985 or 6. And this, I love history. I'm not a detailed specific historian, but I think the 1911 they used from 1911 till 1986. I think they switched to the Beretta, and I got one of them. Done a video on it. Love Berettas, I always have. But if you wanted to carry one of these for personal protection, you could. You could take this thing and practice with it. It may have a couple little hiccup things that you need. That's why you go to the range with obviously your range gun, but as well as your personal protection weapon that you choose. So yeah, if you wanted to carry one of these, you can. I'm not saying you couldn't. For me, it doesn't work because it's so heavy. And especially you put 8 or 9 big fat 45 ACP rounds in there. I don't know the numbers. I don't know the weight. It would be way up there. It would be probably at least 45 ounces. I would imagine. I don't know that. I don't know the numbers. I do know how it feels, and it's very heavy to carry on your side. I bought a shoulder holster for a 1911 a few years ago, and actually carried it some, and that was okay somewhat, but it got aggravating too. You know, we like to go to car shows and stuff. They have all these little car shows. We love classic cars. And, you know, you get out walking around with a T-shirt on that says Armory Breckenridge Festival or whatever, and then you've got a 1911 with the awfulest shoulder harness ever was over that T-shirt, and there that gun is. I don't know. It's just sort of awkward, really. It's just not comfortable. I don't know exactly how to put a finger on it, but I did do it some just for the simple fact I really wanted to carry a 1911 because I like them so much. But I finally got out of that, and I just have reached a point where I realize nothing is as important, as I said, as comfort, both comfort in your hand and comfort on your side, or however you carry it. So much into carrying a weapon. Not only the laws, the rights and wrongs, the do's and don'ts, but what it requires to actually carry and keep carrying it. You know, if you should go out and spend a bunch of money on something and don't like it and don't carry it because it's uncomfortable, that's hard on your budget. Your wife gets mad at you. Guns holds their value very well always, but still, I like to see people make educated, well thought out purchases, and then you'll be much happier with what you've got. You'll also be much more effective with what you've got if you do have to protect your life. And then, you know, nobody wants to get in that situation. We all hope. The goal is that we never, ever get in any kind of scuffle whatsoever. We just have to do the best we can. I'm not going to hump up and hide. Going to try to go places. A lot of places are gun-free zones now, and that's caused me problems. I've done a video on it, but as far as doing a review on this gun, I'm going to get this gun out and shoot it and have a little range video. I don't know when that'll be. That'll be down the road. These are just great, and almost everybody that looks at this video already knows everything about 1911s, I think. Probably more than I do. So I mean, this is not a video where I'm trying to teach somebody or about what this gun is. It's a 1911. It's a standard. This is the base cheapest one. It's a GI. I think they call it like a GI edition. And these grips, though, maybe I thought the GI editions came with. If you know, you may say in the comments. I thought the GI edition ones came with just the normal checkered looking black grips. I do like the looks of this wood. It's very, very sharp. And the thing about 1911s is they fit your hand. I mean, I've got short fingers, and these just 1911 will work for almost anybody. Their weight helps them with recoil. They all have good triggers. I've never shot a 1911, and I have shot a lot of 1911s. All my friends. I mean, I have shot expensive 1911s, and I have shot cheap 1911s. And I mean, there is some differences in the triggers, and I really wouldn't say that the higher ones, the more expensive ones, are all that much really better as far as the trigger feel. Actually, I've seen some expensive ones have some minor hiccups. So I don't have a bit of problem buying a low-end 1911 and taking it to the range. I'm not a gun snob on these lower-end guns, especially a 1911. Now, having said that, I don't like a high point. That just does not appeal to me. I know a guy that's got them and has shot them, and they work. But it's reached the point with them where you can spend just a little bit more and get a really much, much better firearm in terms of value and features. So I'm just not a fan of high point, mostly for that. And they're just big, bulky. So the term, when I say something like gun snob, you know, I guess there's certain things everybody falls maybe a little bit into that. And I don't really feel like I'm a gun snob because they're a cheap, low-end gun. It's more so about I don't like the way they look, I don't like the way they feel, and I don't like the way they work. And then when I also consider the fact that for another $100 I can get something like a Taurus G3, I just can't see myself ever in the high point business. That could change down the road. We never know what's going on. We never know what the future holds. And as well as comfort and how it fits your hand, there's another big factor in your personal protection weapon, and that's budget. Your budget plays a huge role, and we all understand that. And I would never try to encourage people to buy something they can't afford. Debt can cause you much problems. Look at all these students today that have listened to their guidance counselors and have followed the lead from our media and our society in general today. I know kids that are 23 and 24 years old that are in debt $150,000 or more for student loans, and they don't have a job. They don't have any skills. They don't know how to do anything. If they try to go to Corbin to watch a basketball game at the Corbin Arena and they get a flat, they will call me to come down the interstate and fix that flat for them, to change their tire. They're in debt $150,000 or more. On paper, they're educated. In reality, nobody's going to hire them because they can't do anything. It's very sad. And that's another whole story. Don't want to get off on that. But I just simply say, don't go and purchase a big expensive firearm to try to impress somebody else. Your firearm isn't for that. Especially your personal protection firearm. You're not out to impress anyone. Don't get that mindset. It's easy to do, you know. Get what works for you. Get what works for you. Get what fits your hand and what you can comfortably carry. Research holsters. Try holsters. That's a huge part of it. But this gun is a little different. I mean, this is like I mentioned. This is a totally different scenario. This is just a gun I bought pretty much for a collection. It'll be taken to the range. So that's a totally different thought process. This is all about value and bargain, really, is on a gun like this. And I think I'm in great shape on this gun. I really do. I wouldn't take my money back for it. Actually, I wouldn't take a profit back for it right now. Tickled to death with it. I don't think $100 profit would lead me to sell this gun. I look forward to getting to the range. When I do, I'll bring that to you guys. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys the new addition to the family here. Rock Island Armory 1911. I think this actually, the model number is a M1911A1-FS. And I think that A1 maybe is what represents just the basic GI edition. And I don't know that either. I just assume that. It does say GI on the box it came in. And these come with a pretty cool little box. You can tell it's cheaper than the other ones, like the Glock box. Of course, the Glock box is smaller somewhat, but Taurus has a great box. So the 1911 came with it. That box is not in that league. The Taurus is a higher end 1911 compared to this, lower end to almost everything else. And I've seen some people give bad reviews of Taurus 1911. Mine's been great. I don't know. The Honest Outlaw, he didn't like the Taurus 1911. And that guy certainly flat out knows that somebody, whatever he says, I really give it a lot of thought, because that guy certainly knows his firearms. I love his channel, Honest Outlaw. But anyway, hope you guys got something out of this. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll be coming back at you soon here, guys. Everybody take care.